Welcome back, it's Rich, and in this episode, Rich reviews Ferrari. Let's go. Welcome back to Rich Reviews, no nonsense movie chat from the UK. So first up, Ferrari, have you seen it? What were your thoughts? Leave a comment below if you have. And with that in mind, let's dig into Michael Mann's Ferrari. So Ferrari stars Adam Driver as the smooth Italian success Enzo Ferrari, famous for the iconic supercars, and it's a story set in the late 1950s era, the early days around Ferrari building their early race cars rather than road vehicles that you might think. This is a biopic style story which I believe is close to reality, and is a different thing altogether than what you might expect in a film, say, such as 2013's Rush that starred Chris Hemsworth, which is an absolute gem of a film and one that I should do a class review on. It's not that kind of film, that being a kind of race-style competitive film between two rivals. And although there is an element of that in this, it's actually more about the relationship between Enzo and his wife Laura, played brilliantly by Penelope Cruz. I went into this knowing absolutely nothing about the film other than I expected it to be about the rise and success of Ferrari leading up to what it's become today. And it's not that at all. Does that mean it's no good? Well, no, it's still a good film to be fair. But it's set in the late 1950s era and remains there throughout the whole runtime. It's worth knowing that going in, particularly if you've got an interest in cars and we're curious about the rise of the Ferrari brand. It's just not that at all. So set during the summer of 1957, ex-race car driver Enzo Ferrari and his Ferrari company is in crisis. Bankruptcy looms the business that he and his wife Laura built from nothing a decade earlier. Their fractured marriage struggles with the mourning for their son and the acknowledgement of another. Enzo decides to counter his losses in the company by taking a risky chance on one race, 1,000 miles across an iconic Italian landscape, and winning this would get him sponsorship deals and financial backing to move forwards. Otherwise, it'd just be curtains for the Black Horse logo. Enzo leads a kind of dual or even triple lifestyle in this. The first one being his Ferrari brand, which to me, that seems to be his big drive in life. But it's all about racing cars, the brand in this film. The second kind of lifestyle is his personal one, his troubled relationship with his wife and the torment of a son that they lost. Also with his wife having to cope with his affairs with other women. We then get a third, more secret life that he leads, which is a long-term love affair with another lady and another son to Lena Lardy, played by Shailene Woodley. He dances between these three elements of his life while the company's slowly becoming bankrupt, so the story starts to focus more on that as it progresses. Adam Driver as the lead character Enzo Ferrari plays the Italian brilliantly, and again he shows that he seems to be very selective as his film roles and puts an incredible amount of effort into his performance. He looks fantastic too, this weight to him, the grey hair, the aged skin. Yes, he does look and sound like he did in House of Gucci, as people have said on the internet, but to be fair, that was also an Italian businessman wearing suits, building a famous logo, so in respect, it's going to be really similar. He gives great emotion in a way of being in control, being positive, never letting things bother him, and keeping the end goals in sight. He looks like a man with a plan and sticks to it. Penelope Cruz as his wife Laura also plays the part superbly, showing a real sense of emotional weight of the relationship breakdown, particularly in her makeup, her face and general demeanour. She's pushed to the edge as the film progresses, but there's always some slight glint and twinkle of support between them as it's clear there's still love in there. It's a great relationship and both play their part superbly in this. The racing too, in particular the last third of the film, is beautifully shot with great camera angles and a vibrant look to the red cars contrasting against the green surrounding fields with some amazing landscapes. There's some truly shocking moments in this film too that are pretty mind-blowing, and while the CGI on occasions is clearly not quite there, it kind of doesn't matter because when it is needed for these scenes, you're gasping at what you're seeing rather than worrying about the graphics needed to pull that scene off. But of course, it's not always rosy red, and we do get some areas that didn't quite work for me. So the Ferrari brand's an absolute iconic label. It's world famous for the black horse on the yellow background, the supercars, the Ferrari red colour, even just the name itself. Pretty much anyone on the planet is going to know what it is, and that would probably be in their mind modern sports cars, or certainly anything pictured from 80s Magnum PI series or the Outrun arcade forward to present day. And all that's missing from this. While it's not that kind of story, so in a sense it can't really be a negative or something that didn't work, I did think it would touch on the rise of the brand and success, but none of that's mentioned here. Nothing at all to do with it. Not even a text narration when the final screen goes black like you tend to get in lots of these biopics. It's a moment in his life and that's all it is, but for me to ignore all that was kind of disappointing. Also, the lady he has in his second life, his affair with Linda Lardy, played by Shailene Woodley. While fine in a role, she just doesn't come across as an Italian person in look or accent, whereas Penelope Cruz does play that role really, really well. It kind of threw me out of the film a little when they were together, as Adam Driver looks and sounds great, but it came across like he's dating somebody from a completely different country or even a different film. We also get Patrick Dempsey with ultra white hair, and I think this is a bit of a miscast. I don't really know why they use somebody like him. He just doesn't come across again and fit in this film as an Italian person. It's hard not to just see him as just Patrick Dempsey with ridiculously white hair, and I couldn't shake that at all. Unlike Adam Driver, that works perfect. We also get the usual middle of the film where things start to slow down a little, but in this, it's focusing on the business financial subplot, and you kind of want things to move along because you know this big race is coming up. Although Cruz does provide some great scenes bartering with her husband to release financial control, and that makes for interesting viewing, but it kind of just wants to speed up a bit. Finally, though, the race itself, and while this looks great and shot beautifully with gorgeous landscapes and a great sense of speed but done with subtle controlled action, pretty much all the cars are red and each car looks near enough identical to one another, so it makes it really difficult to know who's who in the race, and consequently if anyone bumps or crashes you're kind of left thinking, was that person, or you don't really know. It's probably true to what it was like in real life, so in theory it's kind of not criticised, but as a viewer it's a problem that's going to be there for some people. So before I give my final thoughts, if you like what you see today, don't forget to check out my other videos. Please click like, follow my channel for free by subscribing, and share your thoughts in the comments below. So my final thoughts, I'm going to give Ferrari a 3 out of 5. If I did halves, I'd probably give it 3.5 out of 5, but I don't, so it's 3 out of 5. It is good though, it's worth a watch. The two main leads do exceptionally well in their role, and some great quality acting there. But there are some niggles and that slowdown in the middle that just knocks this down a few. It's out now though on streaming, so you can watch this on Amazon Prime or Apple TV. But if you've seen Ferrari, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep smiling, peeps.